Women in gaming. It's a hot topic, and opinions are varied. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Curious Wanderer here, and today I want to give you my thoughts on women in gaming. Now, before I get to my main points, I want to clarify that I do not believe women should not play games. Rather, they are welcome to do so, but they need to keep in mind that this is a male dominated hobby, and if they do not like games in general because they are geared too much toward male gamers, then tough shit. It's not for them, and they have no right to demand that it change to accommodate them. Now that that is out of the way, I have two things I want to talk about. Number one, women in game development, and number two, women in games journalism. Before I talk about women in game development, let's take a moment to consider what gaming has been like over the past 20 years or so as it has become a mainstream hobby. Before gaming became mainstream, it was considered something that only antisocial losers did. Gamers were among the outcasts of society. They were overwhelmingly male, and the people who developed games were also overwhelmingly male. Because of this, gamers, who remain overwhelmingly male even to this day, have come to expect certain things from video games. Things that I believe only male developers can provide on a consistent basis. Men understand men best, and women understand women best. Now, it is true that there are more female gamers than ever, and I use the word gamer here very loosely, but women rarely gamed until it became mainstream. Even now, many of them play what would be called casual games, such as Angry Birds, Scrabble, Candy Crush, Farmville, and so on their phones and tablets. They are not the hardcore gamers that most of the legendary franchises of the past have been marketed to. Since men and women are psychologically different and think in different ways, there is great potential that female developers who have creative control over a game's development will approach things in very different ways than male developers would. If too many women are allowed to have significant control over game development, we, the main audience, that being men, may begin to see fewer and fewer games that appeal to us. Now, that's not to say that women should never work on games. Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, which are both fantastic male power fantasies, had women working on them. The ones calling the shots, however, were men. Can you imagine an overwhelmingly female studio which is controlled by women making games like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal? I sure can't. So, women should be under the supervision of men during game development. There are exceptions. They are rare, but they exist. Amy Hennig was the main person behind the Legacy of Kain and the Uncharted series, both of which are much celebrated franchises. Women in game development. I'm not totally against it, but the game industry needs to be very careful who it hires. Now, before I talk about women in games journalism, I want to say some general things about men. No matter how much activists wish it to not be so, men are attracted to women. They get off to them. They objectify them. It's part of male biology. Without men and women being attracted to each other and having relations, the human race does not continue. About the G4 host meltdown. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's something else. Basically, G4 is back, and the new female host is definitely not as attractive as Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb were. When she received backlash for her inaccurate takes on gaming, she did not own up to those mistakes. She blamed the backlash on misogyny and basically told the entire male audience that they were sexist pigs for daring to find Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb hot. She said they did not exist to be easy on the eyes for men. This is objectively false. Not only were Olivia and Morgan hired in part for their beauty, but also the network took full advantage of their sex appeal to attract male viewers. That's not all, though. In addition to being hot, they actually knew their shit when it came to gaming. They had substance. Remember, gamers are overwhelmingly men, and men like sexy women. So for this screeching harpy to come barging into gaming and basically call all men who like beautiful women misogynists simply for behaving according to their biology is a huge turnoff. She ended her rant with, "If you don't like it, don't watch it." And what do you know? G4 is now bleeding subscribers. One has to ask why this woman decided to be a games journalist. It's plain that she hates men and hates sex appeal in the industry, whether that be female hosts, booth babes, or in video games. In my opinion, she does not take gaming seriously. She sees it as problematic, and she wants the medium to change to suit radical feminist thinking. My last example of women doing damage to gaming is Anita Sarkeesian. The damage that this bitch has done to gaming is significant. She has managed to infect the whole industry with her rhetoric, which says that sex appeal in games is bad. As a result, women in sexy outfits and even women who just look appealing are more rare than they have ever been before. Not only do developers cover them up, but also they go out of their way to make them as unattractive as possible as a fuck you to men, and men are sick and tired of it. They seem to think that strong female character equals masculine and mannish. Sarkeesian also had a lot to say on the role that female characters played in games. For example, she hated the damsel in distress idea. Women think of games differently than men do. They want different things from games. Many of them do not appreciate gaming for what it is, but desire to change it to suit their own tastes. As with game development, women should not generally be in games journalism unless it be the few who actually like games as they are. As an aside, maybe gaming will have a renaissance soon. Loot boxes, NFTs, DLCs, season passes, microtransactions. The AAA industry has gone mad. All they care about is profit. Meanwhile, the tools needed to make games are free or low cost. All it takes to create a game is for a group of friends with some knowledge to come together and make it happen. I believe that one day, gaming will be focused on fun and enjoyment again. That's everything. Thanks for watching.